With the Samsung Galaxy S23 Unpacked event just around the corner, we pretty much know everything there is to know about the S23 series. What's up guys, Saf here on Super Saf TV, and as we do every year, we're going to break down all of the leaks and rumors of the S23 series so you know exactly what to expect. So no surprises, there will be 3 new S23 devices this year. There's going to be the S23, the S23 Plus, as well as the S23 Ultra. Now from all of the leaked renders, images and models, we can see that the S23 Ultra looks very similar to the S22 Ultra. So in terms of the design, it's going to be a very incremental update. Maybe some minor tweaks here and there, but we do have the boxed off design which goes in line with the Note series, and that also means that the S23 Ultra is going to be having the S Pen. Now regarding details of the S Pen, we don't have too much as yet, but I think the latency will be quite similar. Now what's interesting is that the triple ring design of the S23 Ultra camera module looks like it's going to be making its way to the S23 as well as the S23 Plus. Even on the invites, we see that triple ring design, and the S23 and the S23 Plus will no longer have a camera bump, and they will be adopting the design language of the S23 Ultra. However, there are some key differences. We do have more rounded edges, and the front and back of the S23 and the S23 Plus will be flat, unlike the curved sides that we have on the S23 Ultra. Aluminium frames with Gorilla Glass Victus Plus is expected across the board with IP68 water and dust resistance. Let me know what you guys feel about the design. I do like the S23 Ultra design, but if I'm honest with you, I did prefer the S21 Ultra design that we had the previous year. 4 colors: Phantom Black, Cotton Flower, Botanic Green, as well as a Misty Lilac. There's also likely to be some Samsung exclusive colors, which they normally have, but we'll see when the devices are released. Right now, let's move over onto the display. So the display sizes are going to be pretty much the same. 6.1 inches for the S23, 6.6 inches for the S23 Plus, and 6.8 inches for the S23 Ultra. All devices will have AMOLED technology with the Infinity O cutout at the front. The S23 and the S23 Plus will have a full HD Plus resolution. The S23 Ultra will have the Quad HD Plus resolution, and all devices will have a refresh rate of up to 120 Hz. Now, as far as we can see from the leaks and rumors, the S23 Ultra will be the only one that will have LTPO technology, which will allow it to go all the way down to just 1 Hz, making it more efficient. Now, apart from that, we've not heard anything significant in terms of the improvements. However, there are some rumors that the S23 series devices will be very, very bright. Now, I'd expect this at least for the S23 Ultra, because the iPhone 14 Pro Max last year, believe it or not, had a brighter display overall compared to the S22 Ultra. Now, considering that Samsung is the manufacturer of most of the world's OLED displays, you'd expect Samsung to have the brightest display, and I think they will have this here on the S23 Ultra at least. Now let's look at what's going to be powering the S23 series. Well, some really good news from all of the leaks and rumors. It looks like we are going to be getting a consistent chipset across the board. So for those of you aware of the situation, traditionally Samsung flagship devices are powered by a Qualcomm chipset in the US, and most of the regions have their own Exynos chipset, which does mean there are some inconsistencies depending on which region you pick up your device from, and it's something that I've discussed many times here on the channel, as well as many of the YouTubers. So this year it looks like all the S23 devices will have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset. It is the flagship chipset of 2023, and the S23 Ultra will be one of the first with this, not the first. Now, what's even more interesting is that most recent rumors say that we will be getting a custom version of the 8 Gen 2 for the S23 series. This is going to be called the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 mobile platform for Galaxy, and this will have a higher clock speed of up to 3.36 GHz rather than the 3.2 GHz which comes as standard. This may make the S23 devices, maybe just the S23 Ultra if it is reserved for that, some of the fastest devices out there. Now in terms of RAM, the S23 and the S23 Plus will have 8 GB of RAM. The S23 Ultra will have either 8 or up to 12 GB of RAM. For storage, 128 and 256 for the S23 and the S23 Plus, although there might be a 512 GB version option available this year for the S23 Plus. The S23 Ultra, it looks like 128, 256, 512, as well as a 1TB version. Now the 128 version may be removed and we may just start at 256GB according to some rumors, but we're gonna have to wait and see for that. Right, now let's move on to the cameras. So in terms of the hardware on the S23 and the S23 Plus, things seem to be quite similar. So it looks like we're gonna get a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, a 50 megapixel primary camera, as well as a 10 megapixel telephoto camera. However, the thing to keep in mind is that with the new chipset, we are going to be getting a new ISP, image signal processor, which should help improve images and video as well as all of the software improvements. And in the Samsung teasers, we've seen lots of references to night. I'm assuming that we are going to be getting improved low light imagery. But on the S23 Ultra is where we're going to be getting a big update for the primary camera anyway. So as far as we can see, the ultra wide camera is going to be 12 megapixels. We're going to get 2 zoom cameras, one zoom camera which will give you 3 times optical zoom, as well as a periscope zoom camera which will give you 10 times optical zoom up to 100 times digital zoom. There has also been a reference to the moon in Samsung teasers, which means you'll be able to take pictures of the moon. But let's bring things back to the primary camera. So the S22 Ultra had a 108 megapixel camera. Now it looks like the S23 Ultra will be having Samsung's brand new ISO Cell HP2 200 megapixel camera. Now, of course, with that massive resolution, you're going to be getting lots of detail, but generally you will be shooting at around 12 megapixels. It looks like Samsung is going to be using its advanced pixel binning technology, Tetrapixel. But what's most interesting to me personally is that we will be getting 8K at 30 frames a second. So Samsung devices have been shooting at 8K for quite a few years now. However, this has been limited to just 24 frames a second. And although that is the correct frame rate to shoot at, it doesn't give you the flexibility if you want to shoot at maybe 25 or 30 frames a second. It looks like the HP2 will be able to shoot at 8K 30 frames a second, which will be a big improvement. And I'm hoping it's not going to crop in as much for 8K video. We'll see. Now, of course, guys, as soon as I've got the S23 Ultra in hand, I'm going to be doing some super SAF style camera comparisons just to see how good the cameras actually are. You don't want to miss it, guys. So be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. Now moving on, stereo speakers we're going to have across the board. There are some rumors that the S23 Ultra will have improved speakers which will be going louder. And for the batteries, the S23 Ultra seems like it's going to have the same size battery as the S22 Ultra. However, because of the new chipset and that consistent chipset, hopefully we should be getting better efficiency, which will result in better battery life overall. The S23 and the S23 Plus will have larger batteries compared to what we had last year. And again, alongside the new, more efficient chipset, we should be getting better battery life. Now for the charging situation, things don't seem like they've changed much. So firstly, no charger included out of the box in either of these. Of course, that's pretty much expected. The S23 will have up to 25 watts of wired charging. The S23 Plus and the S23 Ultra will have support for up to 45-watt charging. All of these chargers you will have to get separately. Up to 15 watts of wireless charging, as well as the ability to reverse wireless charge using Samsung PowerShare. Apart from that, it seems like we will have Wi-Fi 6E across the board, as well as Bluetooth 5.3. However, ultra wideband technology will be reserved for the S23 Plus as well as the S23 Ultra. Right, pricing and availability. So we've actually not had any solid info on pricing as yet. But I would expect the S23 series to start at a similar price as the S22 series did last year. So you can see these starting prices on screen. And of course, the Unpacked event is on the 1st of February. I'd expect the release to be a few weeks after. Now, I am going to be doing some coverage from day one here on the channel. So I want to remind you once again to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. What do you guys think of the S23 series? Are you excited? Are you not so excited? Drop me a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Personally speaking, I'm very much excited about the new chipset and the ISO Cell HP2 200 megapixel camera. Can't wait to test it out. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then do smash that like button for me. I'll leave some related videos linked here and here. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on Super Saf TV, and I'll see you next time.